Over the last few weeks, Notion has released their granular sharing permissions, essentially allowing you to create databases that can then be secure and shared with people that they can't find their way back to your original database and see everything. What this is also going to do is help you not have to create multitudes of databases when you bring on new clients or when you're wanting to share specific things with people inside of Notion. And I'm going to show you today how you can do it, as well as what the previous version was, so you can kind of see the difference of what's going on and now how you can actually implement it. If you're also looking to scale your business through systems, I've got a newsletter that can help you do exactly that. The first link is in the description. So the way that Notion used to work is that you had to give permissions at the actual core level of where your databases were made in order to share it with anyone. Meaning that if I genuinely wanted someone to see what was going on, I had the option of potentially giving them full access, can edit the content, can comment, or can view. Now, what this allowed me to do was actually see specific things inside of this database. Whereas if you're inside a page that you maybe created and you have linked views, so you'll see here I've got my second account that can view. If I actually show you that second account, you'll see I have literal no access to everything that's going on here, no matter the tasks or the projects. I just don't have access to what is going on. And that's because inside of this page, this is purely linked views of my databases or synced blocks of what's actually happening. I have to therefore come into the tasks, for example, and actually share this particular page with someone. So if I choose my secondary account and I actually give it can view access and I invite that person to it, I'm going to skip for now so that they can't see it. If I come back to this area, you'll now see that the tasks themselves are shown up. Now, the issue with this, and the biggest issue that came with Notion and other platforms that actually do things like these databases, is that if I wanted to, I can actually find my way back directly to the source of this database. Meaning that I can see literally everyone's tasks that are going on. If you wanted to create a database where you didn't have permissions to see certain things, it just wasn't possible. Now, you could create intricate filters with advanced filters and creating those sorts of things, but in all honesty, just doing that over a longer period of time is never going to work. And it's actually going to cause a lot more issues than benefits. If I add any tasks into this space inside of my actual main area, that second person who you're sharing that with is inevitably going to be able to find everything that you've actually shared. This means if I'm wanting to give editable content, they could basically edit every single part of that content. So now with Notion, they've actually changed it to the page level access, where instead of even sharing the core of the database, you can just share a specific page with them that has the database on it. What I'm essentially going to do is I'm going to create a page for Andy to actually see, and I'm going to remove his access to the core database as a whole and just give him granular sharing permission. So you'll see this new page level access in here where anyone selected in the assignees should have editable access. You can only use things like the person tag, so you have to have their email linked, so they have to be a guest or some sort of member on your Notion to be able to actually add them. But this just allows you to select exactly who you're wanting to see when. You've also got the opportunity to select the can edit, can comment, and can view, so you're locking that down further. If you just want them to be able to sort of see what's going on, you can do the view access, or if you want them to actually be editing stuff, maybe you want clients actually checking off their tasks and things that you've set for them to do over the course of that week, then this gives you the permission to do that. Before we do this, let's actually just create a page for this person, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So we're going to just name this Andy. We're going to make this full width, and I'll just build this out and be back when I'm finished. What I've got now is you'll see that my tasks are all in play. You'll be able to see all of the tasks. This is Andy's page that I'm going to give to him. And you're thinking, okay, well, we've got some that are actually for Andy, but others aren't. And if I give this to Andy and if I share this page with him, he's still going to be able to see everything that's sort of going on that front. And that's what we sort of want to lock down. So what we're going to do from here is we're actually going to share this particular page with Andy. So let me put this into this space, and we're going to give him editable access to invite to this page. So now Andy has editable access to this page in particular. And in order to lock that down, if we come back to the core and we come back into the task tests, we're now going to add this rule that the by who can edit what they're actually seeing. So if I now create this rule, it means that anyone that I give access to for the by who area is going to be able to edit these particular tasks. Now you'll also notice that I haven't actually given them any permission to this database itself. I've merely given them page level access to the rows that are associated with their name. And this is what this little icon that shows up here will do when you have granular sharing on your databases. And the way that you want to do this is you don't want to give them direct access to where you're hosting your database, but you want to give them access to the page that they can edit themselves, meaning you can create individual pages for people that you're given permissions to. So let's go back now to the actual page that I've created for Andy just as a test, and you'll still see for my particular view, I can see all of the databases. I can see everything that's going on. I can see everything that I'm actually trying to see here, and I can even load more. I can see more of what I've actually put in here. Now, if I come back to the shared one that I was showing you before, you'll now see I've got the shared page of Andy. So you might be thinking, if I click on that page, I'm going to be able to see all those tasks. However, all that I can see is the tasks that have been related and directly related to me. So now I can only see the tasks that are directly related to me. So if I come back to the other one, and maybe I'm going to name this tester task, and I place Andy into here, you will now see on the other page, we have the tester task that has come into here. And I can change this, I can edit it of when it's actually going on, and I can add in extra people who are onto this database as well. If there are multitudes of other people that are doing that, then you can add them onto it. What I would recommend is if you're actually there, you would just hide this and you wouldn't give them access to it. So when you click into these areas as well, you're going to be able to see everything that they can edit, everything that they can use, everything that they can actually work on, because you've given them editable access. But with the related client database or the related projects database, I don't have access to these. Again, trying to find ways to maybe come back to the actual source. If I look at this source, I see that I can't actually get it. If I open the source database, I don't have access to the source database, so I can't actually find my way to it. If I maybe remove the by who, I'm not able to see it. If I try to go for the hunt visuals, I can't actually see his tasks. So there's no way for me to get back to that main database that we used to be able to get to. And this is one of the important parts of this granular sharing and how important this is going to be. But what about when you do want to share potentially some of the projects that are associated with that person as well? Because you might be thinking, maybe when related projects are in place, does that actually mess it up and does that cause problems? Well, just like before, we're going to do the same for the projects database, where we're simply going to add that rule for the whose project can edit it. Meaning that if there are projects associated with that person as well, then we can link those directly to the actual page. So now if we come back to Andy's page that I was showing before and that I shared to him, what I'm now going to do is I'm actually going to link the projects database that we've just looked at here, and I'm going to show that projects view. So you'll see with these two tester projects, I come back to Andy's one, and now I can see these two tester projects that are going on. Now I can't add new ones and I can't see things that are happening, but I can actually view all of the tasks that are directly related to this project itself and the ones that have Andy already associated inside of it. And I can change these and change these dates for what's going on. Looking at this project database, I can't actually go to the source to see everything, but I can edit the tasks that are directly already related to Andy as a whole. These are the ones that I have access to and can actually link. So I don't have access to the client's database, and I also don't have access to some of these tasks that are related to these projects because they don't actually have my name on them here. You'll see some of them do, but not all of them do. And this is why it's really important with the granular sharing to actually have those in place. So now the route that you're wanting to take is to share it at the page level view with the editable access or full access or whatever you're really wanting to do with that. But inside of the core where you're keeping the databases, you just want to be able to share the page level permissions for this particular area. The other thing I actually just want to try whilst I'm here is actually just going to change Andrew's view to the can comment. And I want to see if I can edit inside of the database as well, even if I've just got the can comment, because obviously I've just got the suggesting or adding comments, but you can actually still change them in here, which is actually quite good. Let's just try another one where we're going to change it to the can view, and we'll see what actually happens with this, just so we could gauge a wider overview of what's going on. So again, what we're seeing here is all of this stuff that's actually happening. I can change all of these, but if I come back to the page where I can edit it, I come into Andy's page and I put another text block here, come into the share permission that I've got, and I am not able to change any of this. I can copy the link to the block, but that's about it. So you can even go the route of solely sharing the viewable access to these pages that you're creating for Andy right here, and only giving them viewable access. But inside of the databases themselves, this is where you're given the editable access for them to see exactly what they're doing inside of here. With this change, there genuinely is a lot of use cases that you can now use inside of Granular Sharing. You can create client databases that when a client comes on board, there's tasks that are set directly for that client and it goes into their own homepage. This also means that if you have people who are maybe part-time or people who are on a contract basis inside of your Notion, you can give them access to a page where it's only the things that they need to see. And this has generally been one of the biggest things that have been asked for business owners when it comes to Notion and actually having that. And currently I can't find any way to truly get back to the original database or some loophole that's stopping me from doing it. So it seems to be pretty secure. But if that isn't the case, then please let me know, as I'd love to find out if there are ways to actually get through it and how we could potentially fix that. I honestly believe that this is one of the best updates that Notion have been able to provide, and hopefully over time they continue to work on it to make it even better at a larger scale. Over the next few weeks, I'm wanting to build out a full business hub for someone to actually use and to be able to give to their clients as well. So be on the lookout for that if that's something that you're looking to do. If you're wanting to scale your company through systems, the newsletter in the description will be the thing you're wanting to get, and the video on the screen will be something you'll want to watch. I'll see you there.